Welcome to the Rise and Wander podcast, where we'll explore adventure, spirituality, and empowerment through the outdoors and beyond. Join me, Carla Amador, as we focus on topics around the mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional benefits derived through the outdoors. You'll also hear inspiring stories, get educated, and more. Let's get started. I wanted to take a moment to thank this season's Rise and Wander podcast sponsor, REI. REI is the outdoor gear retailer of the 52 Hike Challenge. I've been a member since I started my 52 hikes in 2012, and they've helped outfit me for all things hiking and outdoors since then. Becoming a member has many perks like 10% back annually on eligible purchases, a satisfaction guarantee, which gives you up to a year to return any purchases you aren't satisfied with, free shipping in the US, and so much more. Please visit them at rei.com. Join me, Carla Amador, for my new offering and program, Rise, a fully supported transformation program in which you complete 52 hikes while going through the 12 steps I've developed for healing and transformation through the outdoors. Each month, we'll go through a different topic with guided weekly exercises, one-on-one coaching with me, and access to a supportive community. This program is for anyone going through a life transition, those looking for a change, and anyone looking for accountability and guidance in their outdoors journey. Learn more and sign up at 52hikechallenge.com. Hi, welcome to Rise and Wander. This is episode 2 of the podcast. And today we're going to be focusing on taking a big goal in life and why this actually helps us. Without further ado, let's get started. So in our lives, there's many times where we wish to achieve certain things, and it's easy to dream about something and think about it all the time, but it's a different thing to actually put that vision, that dream into action. And so one of the best ways that we can actually start training ourselves to achieve something that we wish to achieve is to really sit with that goal and to first sit with your why. Like, why am I doing this? And is it really truly something that is a soul calling, or is it something that you're just doing to impress people? Because that why is going to keep you going throughout your journey. Okay. So if that why isn't strong enough, it's really hard to stay focused. The other thing you want to do is once you have your why is write that goal down. For example, because we're going to be focusing on the Camino, I would like to hike the Camino. Okay, so sit down and write when you would like to achieve this goal by, because by putting that down on paper with an end date, you're doing something very concrete. That's a big part of achieving things in our lives is we want to give ourselves timelines. There's something in life called SMART goals. They're specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and then timely. And so basically, once you have that big goal, now it's time to break it down into little steps. It's time to then figure out what are the mini steps that I need to take in order to achieve this big goal. Let's take another example. For me, it was the 52 hikes in the beginning when I started my journey. I said, I'd like to hike 52 times in 2014. So initially that goal felt extremely scary. And it also felt, could I really do this? But then I was like, okay, I wrote it down. I said, I have a year. If I commit to going once a week for a year, and I knew in my life I could make space and time for that. It was only one hike anyway. And being outside was so special. I was like, yeah, this is totally achievable. I could do this. I can get out once a week for a year. That shouldn't be that difficult. And so that really helped me with that breaking down of that larger goal into mini steps. And that's what you want to do with the Camino. So I'd like to go do the Camino, let's say in 2025. So then you're going to write down, okay, Camino by and put an end date. Like I would say December 2025, right? So then now you have to write down those steps of what you need to do in order to achieve that goal. So you need to start planning and figure out when is the best date to go. Do some due diligence, start maybe getting some books about it, start researching online, going on YouTube. Maybe you found this podcast that way. Blogs, books. There's so much you can do to start getting ready and to learn as much information as you can before you take that step. Once you have those mini steps to achieving the goal, the next big thing that I would suggest is, besides writing those goals, and again, I'm jumping ahead because I really want to focus on the Camino in the following episodes. But basically, like you would break down all those steps. Okay. So like I need to book my flights. I need to look into accommodations, etc. This is really going to help you. Also, by those mini steps, you want to set little deadlines. So in the example of the 52 hikes, you could get an Excel sheet. We provide one. You could grab it, put your 52 hikes in there. You could put dates of each week that you plan to complete them by. You could even put some potential mini goals in there. Those mini goals are going to keep you inspired and motivated when it gets hard, when you get bored, when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting tired, or the ego steps in and starts telling you like, oh, it's okay. It's cold today. Just stay home. So really staying focused on, no, I said I was going to do this. And one of the things, and I do want to talk a little bit about this, psychologically speaking, sometimes we create reasons in our own lives, self-sabotage, because deeply inside, we haven't maintained our own promises to ourselves. And so sometimes it's easy to just like let go of things. It's also something around worthiness. I'm just going to briefly touch on that, like taking those baby steps, even if you just get out for 1 mile. That is the thing you need to focus on, is don't look at the big picture, look at the little steps in front of you, and know that resistance is going to be there. That is a natural part of life. It's never going to go away. I can't tell you how many times I have been working on a project and so many obstacles come my way. Okay, I'll give you an example of something I'm working on right now. So I've been working on a new revamped journal. So we have a journal, and basically first there was this delay and then this other delay. And then we sent it to the printers, and then there was a problem with the lines, and it was just delay after delay. And it could be easy to just give up, but I know that this is a part of the process of success. Obstacles are going to come. It's how we show up, and we keep working towards that goal. And that's why having that ultimate vision and also being connected to the why is really important, because you are going to face obstacles. You're going to face weather. You're going to face things at work. You're going to face family things that are going to come up, personal things that are going to come up. But you have to stay committed to seeing that through, because at the end of the day, guess what? You're building that confidence. You're building that trust within yourself. No one can take that away from you. And not only that, but guess what? When you encounter difficulties in life, that resilience, that continuity, that's going to help you get through things as you are encountering other life obstacles. Okay. So setting big goals for ourselves also really deeply impacts us in spiritual ways. Okay. Like when I committed to these 52 hikes, I remember like when I was getting out there, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't know if I could do it, but I showed up every week and I kept facing myself, my inner demons, my inner negative dialogue that I had. So much of it when I first started the journey, like thinking to myself, why are you doing this? This is hard. You could be home on the couch, relaxing. And I couldn't believe how much taking those steps every week was actually helping me to overcome that negative inner dialogue. And when I realized that I had that voice inside, I decided to start changing it and saying things to myself that were kinder. So that's really key here. Finding kindness and compassion within ourselves, being a support system, not tearing ourselves down, but lifting ourselves up. So on each of those hikes, I started practicing. You can do this, just one more step. And when you're planning a big goal, you can do this. Look at what you did. Acknowledge what you're doing well. And you know what? If you mess up, If you don't do 1 week, if you slack off, if you took a day off, it's also okay. It's absolutely okay. And be gentle. Okay, I'll do better next time. There's no reason to have that voice within us that is aggressive, and that actually doesn't help in life. And I'm so thankful that I realized that. And I learned that not only through this personal work, but really with even therapy work, learning how all of this works with the work of reading books around compassion and what truly helps us to change in a positive way. I want to talk a little bit about something I'm working on right now, which is I'm actually taking my first group up to Kilimanjaro. And that was a goal and dream that I had for this year. And I knew ahead of time, right? So like last year around this time, I was thinking about what do I want to do in the next couple years? What's important to me? And then I was like, I'd love to do Kilimanjaro. It's one of the 7 summits. And how amazing would it be to take other people with me along on this ride and help them on that journey? And it has been so beautiful getting these people ready, organizing the trip, and knowing that every single one of us is going to have a really powerful experience, because when we're pushing ourselves to do something that is outside of our comfort zone, I've never gone up that high of elevation. I think the highest I've gone is about 17,000 feet when I did the Salcante Trail, but this is at over 19,000 feet. And so I know altitude may impact me. And I know I may not make the summit, but I'm going to try. And that's the thing, is that as you're going through life and setting these goals for yourself, maybe you set a goal to do something like a marathon. I don't know what your personal goals are, but whatever it is, you're going to need to train along the way. You need to get ready. You're going to take these steps to achieve something that maybe you didn't think you could do, something that deeply will impact you and change your life, because you're going to realize how you can be disciplined. It's going to force you to sit with planning. It's going to force you to sit with consistency, to show up for the training. I train every week, but I was sick last week. And then as soon as I was better, I was like, okay, I'm going to do, even though I couldn't do a 15-mile day, I did an 8-mile day. At least I could do something. So that's the mentality to have while you're planning for this. And then guess what? When you achieve those goals, when you finish that thing like the 52 hikes or the Camino de Santiago, or maybe your first backpacking trip, there is a sense of accomplishment. You feel so good about yourself because you followed through. You did something for yourself that was a dream at once, and now it has become concrete, and you'll have those memories for the rest of your life. But also you'll have that memory of how to do it again when you want to do something else that might scare you. That could be so many things in your life. It could be starting up a business. It could be moving somewhere outside of your comfort zone, somewhere you never knew, but there's a seed planted in your soul. I don't know why we have the dreams that we have, but I know that they guide us for a reason. Every time I followed my inner callings, yearnings, and dreams, it has been deeply powerful in my journey on this life, in learning some incredible lessons. And truly, all of these things, all of these steps have made me into the person I am today. And I know it's going to do the same for you if you stay consistent and you keep working towards your goals. And sometimes things don't happen as quickly as we want them to. It's okay. You need to stay faithful and committed to whatever your dreams are. Like, let's just say, for example, I'll give you an example that I brought up. I went and I did the Grand Teton, okay? And I hired a guide and I did the training, and then we went for it. And the day we woke up, when we were supposed to summit, it was really bad weather. It was raining really bad. And so we did have a small window where we tried to get up there and we were unable to summit. We were like 500 feet from the summit, and then thunder and lightning was coming and the guide called it. And it's okay. Like, I can, if I want to, try that again at some point in my life. That does not make me a failure. There's a common misconception that if we do not achieve that thing we wanted to achieve, that means we failed. Guess what? No, you know what to expect for next time. You can do better next time. You can plan accordingly. I have a beautiful friend, Georgina Miranda, who has actually climbed all of the 7 summits. And her first time going up Mount Everest, she was unable to make it. She got sick. And guess what? She went back and she achieved that goal. And so you have to recognize that sometimes in life, we're going to fail. I don't know how many times I failed. I failed so many times. I fail often. And now I'm like, yes, I learned something. So one of the best things you can do as you're going through the journey is focus on what was that learning experience here? What did I gain from that rather than looking at what you lost? Yes, acknowledge that you may be disappointed and you may feel down. That's okay too. A big part of my journey has been learning how to honor all of me, all of that, the good, the bad, and then recognizing that I'm here to learn something from this. And we can apply that not only to our goals and dreams, but also to our personal lives, to people we encounter. So it's so beautifully powerful to be in gratitude, to be a student of life. And I hope that you will think about setting a beautiful goal for yourself. And it's okay not to as well. If you're not there, that's okay. But acknowledging that when I follow through on something, when I see myself get to that place I once dreamed of getting, it's actually not even about getting there. It's all the steps along the way that are going to deeply mean so much more than you could ever imagine. I want to close this episode with sharing a time in my life where, ever since I was little, like I said, I had all these big visions and dreams. And one of my dreams one day was to receive this award that was given to women business owners. And I actually got that award in 2020. It was the year of COVID. So I didn't get to have the big celebration that they normally do. They do this massive event at the Disneyland Hotel. The Hispanic Women Business Association gives this out in Orange County, California. And I achieved that award for 52 Hike Challenge that year. And as I was reflecting on when I knew, I was probably like 19, talking to my old work boss dad, Alan Gibson, a shout out to him for helping me in my life, and telling him like I had these dreams of being a business owner. And I remember he really helped me. And I just remembered reflecting on my life, all the steps I had to take, all the hardships, all the times I doubted myself, all the times I was just scared and didn't know, like, was I going to make it? Was I going to be okay? And then all the things that had happened in those years. And in looking back, when I got that award, it wasn't the award that mattered so much. It was looking back at all the difficult moments that I overcame that got me to that point that meant the most. And so when you set your goal and you train and you show up and then you get there, I don't think it's going to be that moment that's going to be the biggest moment of validation. It's going to be the reflection that you did it, that you achieved the thing that you set out to, that you were guided to, that will really, truly matter. It's the memories. It's the people you spent time with. It's those that helped you. Ooh, beautiful medicine. Thank you for letting me share that with you today. And in our next episode, stay tuned. We're going to talk all about the Camino and start getting you ready if you're interested in doing something like this in your life. I'm sending you so much love, so much goodness. Until the next time. Ciao.